Hey, what's up everyone? Boozor here. Welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are having a good start to the fusion. I know there's a lot of things going on, so I just want to focus on the fusion plan in this video. As you can clearly see, we have the ongoing fusion for Razzle Varg, the Speed Bunny. I haven't done any kind of analysis on the champion on a video. I will give you guys my quick opinion on the champion right now. So his kit, triple hit A1, turn meter, A2, attack all enemies, leech, with a big heal on himself. It's actually pretty solid. His other moves, increase speed, increase accuracy on your all allies, attack all enemies. And his passive stacks up to 100 speed. He has speed in all auras. Base stats, it's about 1500 attack, and he's built as a damage dealer. So generally, my opinion is he's actually a decent champion. Just reading his kit, it's nothing very nothing too strange with it, I guess. There is a cool interaction with his passive. It does boost his speed up plus 100, which is actually really, it's pretty unique. You can build him really fast. In terms of overall damage, he doesn't do insane amounts of damage, but he can do a little bit of damage. But I wouldn't build him as a nuker because you want his debuffs anyways, so you want his debuff leech here, which is a really useful debuff, especially for Hydra, for example. So this champion, I think, for sure, I see him being used in Hydra. You might be able to get away with him for some dungeon content or wave-based content if you put him in a stun set, or something along those lines. But I see him mainly for Hydra. The AoE leech is very good for Hydra, and speed up is also very good. And increased accuracy so far is okay. It's kind of useful, but not super needed. Maybe in future content for future Hydra difficulties. And yeah, it helps a little bit for his accuracy requirements, so you don't have to build him with top accuracy. And you don't need him to be super fast because he boosts himself up by 100. But yeah, so anyways, his main use case would be Hydra as a damage dealer that provides some buffs. So speed up is nice and leech is nice. So if you are missing those two buffs and debuffs, then you definitely can use him in your Hydra teams. Yeah, but he's basically a damage dealer, so you have to slot him into that role. I am going for him just because you never know when champions are going to be good in the future, and I don't see him being like extremely good, but I might be able to find a place for him, and if not, then he's going to be at least 30k for the next CVC or something. Anyways, let's go over the fusion plan that's happening right now that I want to go over. So right now we have the Dragon Tournament happening. I think on this graph right now, the Dragon Term is actually too long. So you might need to double check this, but it might be ending at the end of Saturday and it doesn't extend into Sunday. So that's just something to watch out for. So currently it's running at the same time as Champion Training, and nothing else is going on. As soon as I think the next event opens in 10 hours. So 10 hours, the Summon Rush and Dungeon Divers will open, and that's when you will probably be committing most of your energy into Dragon to double dip into Dungeon Divers. If you guys can solo farm Dragon Tournament, you guys can build the Champion Training as well at the same time as doing Dungeon Divers. Summon Rush, my estimation for Summon Rush is probably going to be 4500 to be safe. I believe in recent memory there was a 4500. I know Pythion stands out as the most recent one, but it was a fragment, so maybe Plarium takes different templates for fragment and traditional fusions. But Pythion was 4900. So be prepared to spend between 8 and 10 sacreds worth of points for the Summon Rush if you want this epic. And I'll go over this, why you want this epic in a second. So after that we have Arena Takedown. That's a gimme. You guys can even try to win this. Actually, no, you can't win this. You have to, it doesn't matter if you win this because we have to just acquire the champion. So no tournament wins. Artifact enhancement is just gonna be a big silver sink. So budget 10 to 15 million for this. Ice Golem by itself, you can definitely tackle Ice Golem at the same time to finish off your Dungeon Divers and Champion Training. So personally, I use Tomb Lord to solo farm Dragon and Ice Golem with food. So this is actually a very convenient setup where you have Dragon, Ice Golem, Dungeon Divers, and a training. They all work together very well. And you can basically use the same champion for both dungeons. So Tomb Lord works. Priest Ornn, the Mushroom Man, he works. I know Ornn is probably the lowest gear requirement. I believe Earl Grim might work. Earl Grim works on Dragon, lower success, slower speed, but I believe he also might work on Ice Golem as well. But yeah, there's some options out there. And then we get a 1 day break right into a champ training Fire Knight. That's not a very good pair with the Dungeon Diver. So obviously you're gonna be slamming Fire Knight. But this training event you're gonna have to be doing kind of separately at the same time as Fire Knight. So not the best setup here. You do get to champ chase, so you can pull food and level them up at the same time, which is decent. Another artifact enhancement event, so 10 to 15 million. You can level up your Fire Knight gear. Takedown, so that's free points. Spider Tournament will finish off the Dungeon Divers. I think this might line up. If not, that kind of sucks, but it's still okay, I guess. So this is going to be a bit of a intensive spot here where you have the training Fire Knight Dungeon Divers. So make sure you guys have some extra gems ready to go just to deal with this, and extra brews here. Whereas you guys can save some of those resources, gems and brews, because you have like double dip, triple dip opportunities in the start of the fusion. And then we have Spider Tournament basically by itself. You can't really train in Spider most of the time. And then you have a trailing Dungeon Diver at the end of Spider, so you can wait for that as you finish off your training event. So you probably tackle Fire Knight first here, and then wait, and then do training at the first half of Spider, and the second half of Spider you finish off the Dungeon Diver event, and then you use the silver for the last artifact enhancement. So that's kind of just a quick overview, but basically, like, if you're really strapped for resources, this type of fusion is going to be very difficult for you. I'm talking like depending on your progress, so it's not just resources saved. You need to have like dungeon progress minimum. I would say be able to at least complete dungeon 16, even have a chance, and be able to get some classic arena tokens. So you either need gems or you need like gold 4, gold 5 ranking to get enough efficient points to get the rare from the takedowns. And then you need some silver saved up. Like in the past, we've been able to do this without silver saved up in the beginning. But nowadays, the enhancement events are so expensive. Like we're talking like 10 to 15, 20 million even to like complete these enhancement events. There's 3 here. Like those are 3 big problems, right? So if you're looking at this like free to play, you need to manage your resources and come in with resources. Like over time, these fusions are becoming more and more difficult to complete without having to spend like extra saved up gems, extra saved up energies. But obviously, if you're a late game free to play player, you should have enough and you should be progressed enough that this shouldn't be a problem. But where it is worrisome is if you're mid game, early game, this will be quite difficult. I'm just trying to give you guys a little bit of like set your expectations and give you guys a little bit of general oversight of what you should be doing on certain days and trying to double dip on some of these events. But the biggest thing I feel that will help people, sorry for the exposure on the Excel. So I feel that if you have the resources saved, so this is probably for more of a mid-game free player. I'm going to move my head. You should probably go all in on the summon rush. And I mean, usually, you know, you want to try to save your shards and whatnot, but honestly, going all in on the summon rush is probably cheaper than getting the rare and then getting the rare from Champion Chase. So during this Champion Chase, it's going to be a 2x Sacred event, which is super juicy to pull. However, Sacreds are not great for points in a Champion Chase tournament. So you need other, basically other ways of getting points in Champ Chase if it's going to be efficient. So my recommendation is if you do have the shards for Summon Rush, I'm guessing 9 Sacreds, 4,500 points. If you have 4,500 points for Summon Rush or equivalent, Sacreds are usually the best for Summon Rush, but if you can't stomach it, I would go all in, get the Epic, and then look at 4 events that you can actually skip. Because now you can skip 4 rares after picking up the Epic. So you can see on this infograph here, I decided personally to do the Epic and skip these 4 events in red. So the first training event, second training event, Champ Chase, and the final Dungeon Divers. The reason why, like I mentioned earlier, is that this training event floats with the Fire Knight and Spire tournament. You basically have to complete this training event by itself, not being able to double dip into much. It doesn't really do very well unless you're doing campaign with Dungeon Divers, but you don't, like, it's not preferable, I guess, to just do it in campaign. So you're just spending energy that way when you need to spend energy in Fire Knight and Spider. So that means that, so for me, this training event's out. This training event is kind of like, this could be anything. I don't really need to skip it, but I just generally don't like training. So I just skip the training here. And then obviously Champ Chase, you save shards, so you skip that. And then Dungeon Dive, you skip that. So why go for the Summon Rush? So I did a quick kind of breakdown here. It might be hard to see, but basically on the Summon event, you're expected to do maybe like 4 Sacreds and some Mysteries to get the first rare. The Epic will probably come at 9 Sacreds. So assuming you just spend all Sacreds, you spend 9 Sacreds for the Epic, and you will skip the Champ Chase. You won't have to pull another shard for this entire fusion. So assuming you do not get the Epic, you spend 4 Sacreds for the rare, you go into Champion Chase with 2,500 points required for the rare. So if you want to partake in 2x Sacreds, am I saying agents or Sacreds? Sorry, Sacreds. If you want to partake in 2x Sacreds during a Champ Chase, you will probably pull up to 10 Sacreds to acquire the rare champion. That's because each epic is worth 250 points, each legendary is worth 500 points, not really that much of a bonus. And it's very possible that pulling 10 Sacreds does not even net you a legendary, even with 2x rates. So be prepared. And that's 14 Sacreds for both rares in both events. So the drawback of going for the Summon event full on for the Epic is that you just don't get the 2x bonus rates for the Sacred pulls, but you're saving a ton of Sacreds, and you get to save 3 events worth of effort. So if you have the shards, the negative is that if you don't have the shards, you can't do it, and then you have to split it up into the Champ Chase and then the Summon Rush, because you can do Champ Chase with like other ways of getting points, right? Like maybe you have things saved up and you can pull it. Maybe you can fuse some Broad Mauls. Also keep in mind that you can fuse up to 3 of the epics that are required during the Champ Chase, so your requirements are a bit less. So I did do a little quick like hypothetical here. I said fuse 3 epics, you require 6 Sacreds maximum. You could use less Sacreds if you pull legendaries, which is, you know, kind of unlikely. And then 250 mysteries. So this is like hypothetical, right? So hypothetically, you pull 9 Sacreds for the Summon event, or you can pull 4 plus 6 plus fuse 3 epics plus 250 mysteries plus 3 extra events that you have to complete. Or you just pull 9 Sacreds and that's it. So there's a clear benefit here to front loading the shards if you can manage it. The problem is that the Summon Rush really penalizes you if you don't have the Sacreds available and you have to dig into Voids or Ancients or Mysteries even. But if you can get it done, if you can get the Epic from the Summon Rush, it would be a massive, massive like savings for you. Both effort and overall shard count. And to me, like you can just skip the 2x sacred event as if nothing happened. Don't fall into the FOMO. If your goal is to complete this fusion, especially if you have limited resources, definitely consider just going for the epic and skipping no FOMO the 2x sacred event for the champ chase. If you guys can get some low-hanging fruit, low-hanging resources from the champ chase, maybe the 100 energy at the bottom, go for it. You guys can fuse one or two of the epics, go for it. But definitely, that would be my advice, to conserve shards. Definitely look out for this spot. And if you are going that route where you're going for the epic, you won't have, and you decide to skip events here, just keep that in mind that you won't have the rares available to make epic fusions during the champ chase tournament. Something else to consider, I believe the fusion ends during CVC, so also consider keeping the fusion until your next CVC, so you can pull it for 30k points. Also, there will probably be a summon rush near the end on this Friday. I don't know if that's going to factor into this at all, but obviously it's not listed in the schedule. But it's going to be a non-fusion summon rush that might have some impact here. So, but yeah. If you guys are pulling mysteries, make sure you guys pull that up front or as soon as possible, so you guys get a chance to pull the rares. So that might save you guys like energies or or effort. So make sure you guys consider that. So make sure you guys pull the mysteries right away. So if you need to pull mysteries for the summon rush, make sure you guys pull it right away, so you guys know if you guys got the rares, and then you can reassess your plan going forward. Okay, so I hope it was a little bit, hope it was a bit more clear. I wish you guys best of luck in the fusion. It's not super difficult to be completely honest. Like I said, the first half of the fusion, it flows very well together. Dragon, Ice Golem, training, Dungeon Divers. There's a lot of triple dipping going on. You get to reload on food with the Summon Rush. Artifact Takedown like kind of matches up really nice the first half. The middle part with this training Fire Knight Dungeon Diver is very awkward, and will take the bulk of your energy, because you will be committing energy just to the Fire Knight and then just to the Spider, and then you guys have to do the training just to training. So, and then you have this random Dungeon Diver that's just going to take a bunch of energy. So best of luck. I hope you guys are well planned. I think he's a decent fusion. I don't think he's going to be account breaking or anything like that. If it's a skip, it's a skip for you guys. No big deals. But I think as a damage dealer, he can definitely do pretty good in Hydra. AoE Leech is not super common, so that's very useful. Accuracy Up has shown to be a very useful extra buff that might see more play in the future as well for our future content. So anyways, best of luck. That's it from me. I want to get this video out right away so you guys can plan accordingly. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.